Are we back?
Yeah, we can visit Hayner and those guys again.
When it comes to Resident Evil, my main criticism is of course one thing, okay? Performance. And Resident Evil 9 is coming out February 27, which is about 1 month before my birthday. Starting next week, folks, I'm going to rename my channel. Rest assured, the core of the topic still remains.
You there, Leon?
Oh.
Oh my god! He is so fucking hot!
Yes! Yes! Oh God, yes!
Thought I heard something. Sorry.
Wow, I really like the look of Eve in Stellar Blade.
Ah, yes, of course.
What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the Chud Champion Dr. Disaster.
Some things never
the
change,
other day
mate.
at the Game Awards, there was a trailer put out for Resident Evil 9, which comes out in just a few months, and in that trailer, they revealed the return of a character which likely brought a smile to the faces of a lot of longtime Resident Evil fans.
Who the hell are you?
Of course, we are talking about the legendary Leon Kennedy. Apparently, he is now going to be a playable character in Resident Evil 9, and that was pretty well received. If you take a look down here, you can see that this trailer, or at least this specific trailer released on the PlayStation YouTube account, has gotten 754,000 views in a few days, but the remarkable thing is the like and dislike count. They've got 47,000 likes, which is pretty good, but most importantly, there were only 227 dislikes at the time of this recording, meaning virtually nobody out there disliked the trailer, which is unusual because these days you could probably earn yourself a dislike by at least someone simply for saying something as non-provocative as "I like pizza."
How dare you?
So clearly, the vast majority of people who watched this trailer are in favor of what they saw, and I tend to agree. I'm a little leery about the game because I really want them to try to recapture the unnerving old atmosphere of the original Resident Evil games. I want to be nervous while playing it, and there are elements of this trailer which make it seem like it's going to be more like an action film than survival horror, but that's a minor complaint, and ultimately, even if the game did end up coming off as some kind of an action film with Leon being in the game, well, we might get more absolute gold like this.
I don't know if this is true. I check on Instagram. Many people say that Ada Wong is likely to return too in Resident Evil 9. I'm not certain if it's true. I saw a picture from Instagram, okay? I think I saved it. Hang on a second, let me check. It says here, the one picture I have from my Instagram, it says the Queen, aka Ada Wong, is likely to return. Very likely. And I have to say, the art of Ada Wong, a little bit similar to Resident Evil 4 Remake.
No thanks, bro.
But one thing that I find very interesting, and it tells us an awful lot about the state of the gaming industry, is the way that the model for this older version of Leon is being received. Naturally, and I don't have a problem with this at all, mind you, but naturally, female fans are freaking out. They are loving the new design of Leon, and in fact, we just found out through an interview from the makers of the game that Capcom has gone out of their way to ensure that Leon was tailored to the female gaze. Apparently, the female employees at Capcom were specifically consulted to make sure that they got him right, which begs the question, why in the bloody hell is it okay to accommodate girl gamers, but it isn't okay for guys? Why do developers and game journalists have a problem with a character like Eve from Stellar Blade while celebrating Leon?
Because they don't want to see themselves inside their own insecurity. I think the reason why they don't want to see it because, look, it forces many of these women, to do better. To go to the gym. I'm certain some of you who are watching this, whether you are male or female, you go to the gym.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. A lot of people have told me that they have been unwillingly unsubscribed to the channel, so make sure you are still subbed. Ever since I started mentioning this in my videos, I have had loads of people tell me that they found that this had happened to them. If you've heard me say this before, well, this section of my videos will be skippable from now on by being turned into a chapter on the video timeline. But I do have to keep saying this because I don't know why it happens, but it does seem to happen an awful lot. Anyways, let's take a look at what we've learned about Resident Evil 9, and I'd like to start off by providing some proper context. First of all, I know there are plenty of people out there who don't much care for the design of Grace in Resident Evil 9.
No.
They are complaining that she isn't good looking enough. Here is a picture of Grace, and she doesn't blow anyone away, but I also do not personally have a problem with the character design either.
My main concern is de novo, okay? I'm gonna keep on saying this. Regardless whether your character is attractive or not, it will not save a game if the game runs like ass, okay? AKA broken on launch. And don't forget, both Resident Evil and also the upcoming Pragmata has de novo. So I'd be interesting to see how well this runs. And no, I'm not buying this day one. I'm probably gonna wait at least until spring sale and then I'll buy it. Assuming I have enough storage for it.
The most important thing to me is that she isn't hideously ugly. This isn't something like Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, or Fable, or Star Wars Outlaws. Those female characters were obviously made to look as wretched as possible, and the game journalists out there and the progressives, they all celebrate these character designs because they claim that they are realistic. And first of all, I'd like to point out that the point of video games is not realism. And
That's right.
second of all, if that is a concern, if realism is what we're going for, then why in the hell is it not a problem that Leon looks like this in Resident Evil 9? Because most guys, by the time they hit 50 or whatever age Leon is supposed to be in this game, they do not look like this. This is fairly unusual, though I will reiterate that I have no problem at all with this design. As a guy, I'm going, hell yeah, I hope I can look even half that good when I get to be his age.
Yeah, me too. Although I hope Capcom exactly, or in this case, address what he's been doing, okay? Or more specifically, because, like, for example, the OG characters, okay? Like, say, Claire, Rebecca Chambers, Jill Valentine, Sherry Birkin, and Barry Burton, all that sort. Hopefully they address what happened to them, okay? Because we never seen them, okay? Again, like I said, it is just still a rumor from Instagram that I found out. A user called Ada_Wong, I believe that's what it's called, Ada_Wong138. It says the Queen is very likely to return, aka Ada Wong. I'm not certain. Remember, take it with a grain of salt, okay?
It gives me something to shoot for, but that sort of attitude is not reciprocated. Look at how Stellar Blade was
yes, I
received
remember
by
that.
people last year. The game journalists went on and on about how this was hurting women. It wasn't until it became obvious that Stellar Blade was a smash hit that they started to pretend to like the game. But they still called people gooners for liking Eve. In any event though, let's take a look at a clip real quick of a gal responding to the reveal of Leon so you can get an idea as to what female gamers think of the character design.
Okay, before that, again, like I said, I really don't care what Leon or even Grace looks like, okay? The question is the game good? Is the story good? Which we all know Resident Evil is always good. But most importantly, I hope they at least address what happened to the OG characters besides Leon and Chris and maybe Ada Wong. What happened to them after the events, say, RE Death Island? Because we haven't seen them.
Keep in mind that I have no problem with this person's reaction. I actually think it's pretty cool that she gets so excited. Take a look.
Dr. Gideon has been expecting you.
You there, Leon?
Oh my god! He is so fucking hot! Like, what?
I actually really appreciate her enthusiasm. I think it's really cool
Sorry
how
about-
excited she is.
Sorry you had to see that zing. I don't know what happened, okay? Like I said, none of us have any problem with it, okay? But the one thing I'm trying to figure out, okay, is someone who is talking to Leon, okay? I don't think that could be Hunnigan, okay? The voice, oh yeah, Hunnigan. I hope they address what happened to Hunnigan and Ashley. Yeah, I hope Capcom at least tell us what really happened to either Claire Redfield, Sherry Birkins, Rebecca Chambers, Barry Burton, Billy Cohen, and also Hunnigan and Ashley. I think they already told us. But most importantly, Hunnigan. I mean, we haven't heard anything from her. So I'm not certain if the voice, the one that Leon talked to in his earpiece, could be Hunnigan. What do you think?
He is so freaking hot! Like, what?
I actually really appreciate her enthusiasm. I think it's really cool how excited she is. But now, just imagine if the roles were reversed. Imagine if the design of Grace in Resident Evil 9, if instead of this, she was actually just revealed to look like this. And now imagine that some male gamer was on camera freaking out in the same way and calling that character hot. The feminists would flip a lid, and this hypocrisy must be pointed out.
Yeah, that's
With
right.
all that in mind, the Japanese outlet Famitsu put out an interview featuring the game director and game producer of Resident Evil 9, and in it, they tell us how the Leon character model was designed. This thread on X here summarizes the article, which was written in Japanese, and if we scroll down in the thread to here, we can see that it says they confirm that Leon can be played from first person like Grace. There will be an in-depth gameplay video of both main characters in January, and then they say a lot of female staff member input helped refine Leon and Grace. What do you want to bet? That is why Grace is built like a broomstick. And once again, I don't hate the character design, but the design makes a lot more sense with all that in mind, doesn't it? Meanwhile, the image on the left right here is an X post with the direct translated quote from this Famitsu article. It says,
And before that, again, like I said, every Resident Evil character, I love to play it. Hell, even Jill Valentine or Grace, whether it's first person mode or third person, I'm using keyboard and mouse, okay? Still using keyboard and mouse. Unlike most people, they always use controllers, I will probably use keyboard and mouse.
we have many women on staff who are Leon fans, so we get a lot of, well, feedback. And then take a look at the image on the right. This post has been circulating on social media over the past day or so. This is a headline from an article written all the way back in 2020. It says, Jill Valentine's new Resident Evil 3 remake design, less sex appeal, more practicality. And then, underneath in that bottom paragraph, let's read what they said about that game. It reads, there were a lot of discussions internally about that direction, the Resident Evil 3 remake art director told Game Informer. The original design of Jill Valentine was clearly going for sex appeal, but that was not the right direction. This is a very strong character, and it is a character that's going through a lot of adversity, so we wanted to home in on that and make sure that there's a certain level of believability in what she's wearing, a certain level of practicality. In other words, when it comes to female characters, the priority is realism, whatever that means to these people. And when it comes to male characters, then it's okay that we go off into fantasy land and every male can look flawless. And let me point something out. This is why these so-called chuds in the gaming community are pissed off. At least it's one of the reasons we're pissed off. They have hollowed out the male gaming space and turned it into basically the smut novels that a lot of these shrieking feminist HR ladies like to read, where they can drool over some male character. And the thing is, the chuds don't even begrudge them that. We just don't want these same people to freak out at us. But apparently, that is challenge level impossible.
Good video. I think the problem is that many feminists are too easily offended. Most of my audience here, who is a gamer, whether you're male or female, you really don't care. But when these feminists try to force their ideology, force their own insane logic into you, yeah, sometimes it gets pretty annoying. My main concern for Resident Evil 9 is of course the performance, okay? I'm willing to look the other way when it comes to Grace Ashcroft, but understand this, regardless whether your character is beautiful, or in this case attractive or unattractive, that will not save your game if the game was broken on release, okay? And don't forget, Resident Evil 9 has de novo, and it has proven many times that de novo affects performance. I'm not joking, it does. I mean, Ono Alex, who makes a lot of PC ports, he already talks about de novo, how it did affect performance. Digital Foundry, I think Digital Foundry have tested both the de novo version and the pirated version. I think I'm okay with Grace and Leon as long as the game can run well, which is why I'm not gonna play Resident Evil Requiem on day one. Probably going to buy it on sale on spring, maybe before my birthday. March 27 is what's called one of the good writers. Look at this.
Whoa. Wow. 2 keyblades.
This journey's going to be twice as difficult as your last. Your garments also have other powers, but you'll have to discover what they are as you continue on your journey.
Okay, I'll do my best, and thanks a lot.
Oh, and there's something else for you, Master Yen said.